league.
So last night, Mac Jones gets traded, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, wow, he went for a 6th-round pick. He's only making a couple $1 million after the deal, and they're going to decline his 5th-year option. 2021, and I've said this to you about the COVID seasons. Does 2021? Why are you pointing? What did I do?
It's Julian Champagny. That's how you pronounce it. Champagny.
Yeah, I had no idea.
On the guide.
I'll take your word for it.
Champagny.
You got to Google it.
That one just sounds like a hard one to pronounce just in general.
Champagny is his name.
We can disagree about this, but clearly the COVID year, when it comes to that whole missed season and evaluations and the draft, like, it was just all out of whack. But we were told that was going to be the greatest quarterback class since 1983. Trevor Lawrence goes number 1 overall. I don't believe they've picked up his 5th-year option yet.
Not yet.
Zach Wilson, number 2.
He's going to be on a different team.
100%. Trey Lance already is on a different team.
Maybe on another team.
He went number 3. Justin Fields went 11.
He may be on a different team.
He will be. And then number 15 overall, Mac Jones. He's already on his 2nd team. Kyle Trask taken in the 2nd round. Kellen Mond taken in the 3rd round. Davis Mills.
Is Kellen Mond still in the league?
I don't even know.
He's been on 3 different teams. It feels like he was like third string at Minnesota. They got cut.
Yeah.
Damn.
Davis Mills, who was quarterbacking for the Texans, and then obviously they have Stroud, and they're never looking back. Ian Book.
Yeah.
Niners had him for a second. He's been on at least a couple teams. And Sam Ehlinger. I'm not sure any of these quarterbacks can play.
Texas, Sam Ehlinger in Texas. He was the guy when they beat Georgia when Georgia did not care 2 cents about the Sugar Bowl, and Texas beat them because Georgia just literally didn't care about the game. And he goes, "Hey, Texas, we're back." And they basically done nothing until last season.
So what I'm getting at is that
Sam Ehlinger, that's his claim to fame.
If I added in,
we're back.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Sorry.
If I added all these guys' highlights, all of them, Mr. Irrelevant from the year after has already done more in the NFL than all of these guys combined.
Right.
Am I tripping?
No, you're not tripping. Real quick, this kind of, I don't know why it irritates me, but I like to keep things private, whatnot. Keep it on Instagram, but we're so quick on X/Twitter.
Huh.
So Fred Warner, Sydney Warner, congratulations to them. They just announced the birth of their son.
Oh, nice.
Which is awesome. But why does everybody, they're so quick to post a picture of them in the hospital room on the Twitter, and I get their public figures or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? We're quick to screenshot it. Congratulations to Warner, Sydney. Oh, it's so great.
Bro, there are a couple of accounts out there, and you know exactly who you are, and I'm not going to name you. Get a life. You're just screen capping and tweeting things out and re-aggregating stuff, and it's so weird. I don't get it. And A, who has the time? And B, like, take a play off. It's okay. It's okay. There are people who get paid to report on the team who will re-aggregate that stuff. I feel like people do it for the likes. It's very odd.
Right.
Very odd.
It is
good for Fred Warner. I actually met him and his wife at a guardsman thing a couple years back, and he just could not have been a nicer guy.
Oh, he's such a good dude. Sydney, Anna, we were walking on the sideline for the NBC title game. Anna caught up with Sydney, and they talked for like 5 minutes.
She's very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. She was so cool.
Did you see who else got married over the weekend?
Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Congrats on Brock Purdy. Congrats to Brock Purdy. The Purdy's. I'm happy with Brock Purdy.
That's what she said. Like, they were about to get married. Like, do you take this man to be your husband?
I'm happy with Brock Purdy.
That's what she said to the priest. If there was a priest.
Dude, Florio. Here's Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk.
I'm happy with my wife.
Here's Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk on Brock Purdy's value.
At some point, tiers need to develop. So what tier will Brock Purdy be on? Will he be on the top tier, 55, 60 million a year? Will he be on a lower tier? Whatever Kirk Cousins carves out, is that where he'll be? It's going to be complicated, but, the reality is the 49ers will have one more year under contract with him and the ability to franchise tag him twice before he could walk away. And that's part of figuring out value. And we'll see. I mean, the last time they had a great young quarterback in Colin Kaepernick, they paid him. They gave him a big contract. It wasn't as big as his camp tried to make it out to be. But when they have a guy who's getting it done, they know that there's a time where you have to pay him.
So that's something that the Niners will have to deal with next season. However, this season, after restructuring or failing to restructure Eric Armstead's contract, he's going to become a free agent. They did restructure Fred Warner's contract to apparently free up $12 million in 2024 cap space. Kyle Juszczyk and the Niners are trying to renegotiate. They're at the table right now talking. Kyle Juszczyk makes $5.7 million in base salary next season, so we'll see about that. But what about Deebo Samuel? Has he lived up to his contract so far? And I can't unsee the Super Bowl, Shaska. And I'm with you with this thought process. You can't let one game dictate what you do in the offseason. Because if that was the case, we'd all be giving Chase Young big time money. Nobody's talking about re-signing Chase Young.
Not in my top 15.
Despite his Super Bowl performance.
Yes, he was really good.
But I can't unsee what I saw in the Super Bowl when it came to Deebo Samuel.
What if I told you he was really hurt?
Yeah, he may have been really hurt. He may have been really hurt.
I don't even know this.
And I love Deebo Samuel.
I'm speculating.
Yeah, and I love Deebo.
Yeah, I
That's
do.
my guy. But I do wonder if we've seen the best of him in this offense. He's making $28 million. That accounts for 10. Really, if I'm round up, it's 10% of the cap, but it's like 9.75% of the cap next season that Deebo's making, $28 million. And I don't want to break him and Ayuk up. I think they're one of the better duos in football. But when I think about the vertical passing game, and I think about needing the first down, just Brock Purdy dropping back, foot in the dirt, boom, base looks good. He fires the ball. Deebo, where's he at as a playmaker or as a wide receiver? At times, he doesn't gain his separation. At times, DBs are just like, dude, we're not worried about you. I don't know. The vertical passing game was lacking. And could Deebo be that guy in the vertical passing game? I sound crazy talking about this because he had a special season. But we asked Mike Florio the same thing. And here's what Mike Florio said about Deebo and his contract.
It's not what have you done for me lately. It's what can I expect you to do for me today and tomorrow and the next day. That's what you're paying for. And if we look at it that way, have they really gotten high-end value? Hey, I don't criticize Deebo Samuel for leveraging his situation to get paid. It's up to the player to get paid. It's up to the team to manage the salary cap. But, you know, I think a fair argument could be made that Deebo Samuel has not delivered the full return that maybe they were expecting.
Mike Florio.
That's the same noise I make when I get out of my chair every morning.
Oh, my God.
Right. So, I do wonder if DBs fear Deebo Samuel in the pass game. I know they fear Ayuk at times.
Do you see that deal?
Yeah, Chris Jones.
160 for 5 years.
He's going to make $31.8 million a year. You know what? He's worth every single penny. He helped you win 3 Super Bowls.
Let me ask you. I know he's older.
Chris Jones has had more impact in those big games than Nick Bosa has. And I see Nick Bosa at the top of the list.
Yeah, I was just going to say, by a wide margin,
Right.
Nick Bosa is at the top of the list. Next 3 years, would you rather have Bosa or Chris Jones?
Huh?
Next 3 years.
I mean, Chris Jones getting older. I mean,
He is up there.
Chris Jones has an impact in the pass and run game, man.
He is a bad dude.
He's a badass, man. And you know how I feel about Nick Bosa right now. I'm a little down on Bosa.
You think Kansas City's having a conversation like, we need to get him edge guys, and we need to get him a guy alongside of him?
They had Charles Omenihu playing opposite of him, and Charles Omenihu had a career year. All right? Frank Clark is praying that he gets back to Kansas City because he revived Frank Clark's career.
The one thing I don't want to hear from Bosa is that he's not reporting to any of the mini camps and the workouts and the voluntary stuff. Nick Bosa better be at everything. As a leader, no, I'm dead serious. It's not about the conditioning. The conditioning portion is irrelevant. I want the highest paid employee to be at the facility as often as possible.
Look, Deebo is special, and the Niners are not as good without Deebo Samuel, but I'm looking at the 408. Deebo, look at this comment from Deebo. Comcast business text like what?
Just the YouTube, just the comments. Election season, Bosa hits different.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
He was just scouting his offseason regimen at UFC 299.
That's funny.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh. That's the last thing I need to see this weekend. It's one of those things I saw. I was like, I'm just going to keep scrolling. I'm just going to keep scrolling, dog.
It's going to be a tremendous season from
Not even going to bring it up. Not even going to bring it up. I don't do politics on the show. I don't talk about it. I'm not talking about it. Nope.
The greatest season.
Nope. Not going to do it. Deebo's one of the worst because now Because now when the Niners lose the Super Bowl, I can't unsee the memes that comes around Nick Bosa when it comes to Black History Month and all the world. Here's
what I would say to most people. Here's what I would say to most.
I'm talking about, Spadoni.
The amount.
You know what I'm talking. You can't not laugh. You're like, damn. Why do people go to these extremes?
The internet's undefeated, never lost.
You know, I just can't.
The memes are tremendous.
Tremendous.
They really are, though. Like, you just have, like, come on.
Oh,
Come on. He was hanging out with Donald Trump and Joe Burrow.
Joe Shiesty?
He was there.
A lot of second-place finishers.
Oh, my God. 408. 408. Well, I don't know if he's coming to second place this time around, but he better
Check the
Bosa,
polls.
right?
Because Sleepy Joe ain't much better. 408 Comcast Business text line. Deebo's one of the Chassis said this is morning. All right, real quick. I can't get through this text because now my mind is
About Bosa?
Chassis going, these are the best candidates we have in America. These are the two guys
That's
we
what
have.
I've said that for like 5 election cycles. Like, this is the best we have?
Oh, man. Deebo's one of the worst route runners in the league. He is a playmaker, but has he reached his peak? Teams dare him to get vertical. They know who he is now. And I got a text here, and I'm not going to say who it's from, but there's a former player out there in the league who played in the league who says there's not one DB in the league that's scared of Deebo. They may be scared to tackle him, but they ain't scared to cover him. Well, Georgia Los Santos, he believes the Niners are not as good without Deebo Samuel, which I subscribe to. I just wonder if we see the best in Deebo, and is he the best weapon for Brock Purdy moving forward? Georgia Los Santos, what's happening?
Hey guys,
What's up, George?
honestly, I think thinking that we can be the team that we are, even going forward without Deebo, makes no sense to me. I mean, he is too integral a part of our scheme, and just take a look at what we did last year when he was out of the lineup versus when he was in the lineup. Okay, he'd had a tough game in the Super Bowl, but let's not forget, George Kittle had 4 yards of total offense in the Super Bowl. He's not a problem. Guys have games that are bad games, okay?
Yeah.
But Deebo, to me, is just too important because you take him out of our lineup, you're putting way too much attention on Christian. He takes a lot of pressure off of Christian because you have to worry about him when he goes in motion, even if they give him the ball or not. So I think we really need to stop thinking anything about losing Deebo. I think he's just too important to us, you guys.
I hear you. I see, what was it, 11 targets, 3 catches?
It felt like the game plan was tailored toward highlighting Deebo Samuel.
Right. 3 catches, 11 targets. Now, some of them was some bad throws. Some of the routes and the pass combinations just didn't hit.
And Brock missed him on a couple.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. There was some bad throws.
But I'm saying, like, in terms of, like, he had some steps on guys, and the reality is, though, when you go to practice, you can see this at practice. When you go to practice and you watch, and football is much more than route running. That is an element of it. Timing is an element of it. The only guy who gets clear separation consistently, even on Charvarius Ward, their best corner, is Brandon Ayuk. I mean, 2, 3, 4 yards of separation that's light years worth of separation in the NFL. It's not like college football, I think, distorts how we view what being open is in the NFL. Being open in the NFL is a step.
Yep. No doubt.
And that's where, like, you're talking about Deebo and he don't really get open by a step. He gets open by design.
Speed.
He gets open by movement, pre-snap.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily get open because he's, jab stepping you back 4 or 5 steps. That's just not his thing.
Now, Eric Branch from the Chronicle, with the legal tampering period underway, the 49ers in Pro Bowl fullback Kyle Juszczyk remained. It talks about lowering his salary in 2024. So they're looking to do that. Apparently, they're going to save anywhere from $10 to $12 million when it comes to Fred Warner's restructuring. He's going to make only the vet mid when it comes to base salary. But they're going to spread that out over a few years. He gets some guaranteed money there. So Fred's going to be taken care of. Here is some news from David Lombardi. Oh, that's about nothing.
He was right all along.
This is about nothing. It was. I guess he's trying to lecture some people. And he goes, here's the tweet. This is what's going on with
I
David
said what I
Lombardi.
said.
9:36. News of the Javon Hargrave signing came in at about 10:20 a.m. Pacific time last year.
God.
By the way, I have no idea what that's. It's just like
Keep going.
it's like, David, we don't care about that.
So David took a photo, and his wife took a photo of him, and then he retweeted it, and it hopped on my timeline of him in the ocean shooting a video with his shirt on. It was funny. Come on, Spadoni, it was funny.
The shirt on in the water is certainly a look. I get it. I'm not here to body shame anyone. Like, some people just aren't confident in their body.
You know what?
But you know what? If you're out at the beach with your wife or significant other, who cares?
Dude, I got the shirt off. I got a gut. I ain't tripping.
Let's go.
I haven't had a six-pack in 15 years.
If Tony Soprano could rock that gut,
For real.
we all
Seriously.
can.
For real.
Straight up.
Dad bod's in, too.
Dude, Dad
Check
bod
it out
is
on
in.
TikTok. It's in.
You got to be a gangster to walk around with bod. It's just like, don't care. I love the big boys at the pool. They don't care. The gut's all out. They're out there in the water having fun. They're chilling.
So here's the question now. Because last year, I felt like the male swimsuit was getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I'm still in on closer to the knees than closer to the top. Would you guys agree on that?
Yeah. All right. Well,
for me, I'm not trying to go so high rise.
Jonathan
You got the quads you
Gennard.
can rock.
Jonathan